Out here on the Pajero again. I'm gonna sandblast the frame so we can get her back inside and start working on the roll cage. So I'll show you what we're up against. In the last episode, you would have seen us washing the frame, trying to get as much of the surface rust as we could with a high pressure washer. There's still some surface rust. We need to try to sandblast it. We want the frame to be as clean as possible to allow us to weld on it and to inspect it to make sure that we don't have any, deep rust or issues with it. So we have a wet sandblasting kit set up. So I'll post a link about a tool review on this wet sandblasting kit. Give that a watch if you guys are interested in seeing how it works. Other than that, let's get going.
All right, we're making some good progress here. The frame is starting to come up pretty nice. There was a lot of surface rust. As you can see, there's new surface rust already building up, but that's pretty minor. It's one of the disadvantages of using a pressure washer with a sandblaster combination. Gets rid of everything and then it starts to rust again because it's all wet. So probably need to dry it off and coat it with WD-40 or something like that. The next step here is to start cutting off all the tabs and mounts that we will not be using. For example, like these shock towers here, there's old exhaust mounts and everything that will no longer be there. We can then flip the frame over and start sandblasting all the underneath side and get this thing completely prepped and ready to start welding on it. So we'll go ahead and get stuck into that right now. Okay, we got all the control arms and front axle all removed from the frame. There's probably 10 different ways that you could have done this. I picked the hardest way, so it's always fun. The next step will be to keep trimming away some of the mounts, as I only cut away what I could with everything sort of in the way. Yeah, now that we've got basically everything completely out of the frame, it should be nice and easy to actually flip it over and cut all the stuff that is kind of difficult to access. Once we've got all that done, we can get back to sandblasting, get this thing fully prepped, and then we're ready to start fabricating on it. So let's get stuck into it. All right, we got the frame all sandblasted. We've made up a couple of little dollies here that bolt to the frame so we can just move it around, get the body back on it and stuff. I thought we only had 2 spare wheels.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it because I found 2 more and it'll work.
Well, yeah, as long as we can move this thing, that's all that really matters, I guess. So yeah, we're gonna get this back on the ground the right way around and then get it underneath the body. Then we can move it into the shop and we can start doing some work to it. Just got a ton of new parts from TMR Customs. This should be everything we need to do our 4-link front and rear suspension. So let's open it up and see what we got. All right, we've got all the components now sitting here on the bench. So there's a couple of things that I made a little bit of a mistake on. Some of these parts are sold individually and I can't read, so.
Yeah, it was definitely not the website's fault because it's very clearly stated at the bottom of each part, sold individually.
Yeah, sure is. So yeah, I'm gonna order a couple more bits, but yeah, we've got the front truss here for the Dana 60, for the Dana 60,
Dana 60.
Dana 60.
Dana 60.
Dana 60.
for the Dana 60, the rear truss. We've got all link brackets and everything for a triangulated 4-link on the back. And then we're just gonna do a traditional 4-link with a track bar on the front. So lower links, this would be the upper link, which is nice and adjustable with 4 holes. Then
Sold individually.
sold individually, yeah. And then this is the lower link on the front axle. And then these would be the upper links for both front axle and rear axle.
Also clearly stated, sold individually.
Yeah. Everything's made super nice. Laser cut, keyed, so it's easy to put it all together and get it all square and accurate. And there's great instructions on the site too on how to put all this stuff together. So extremely happy with them. TMR is a Canadian-owned company as well, in Ontario, I believe. So it's pretty awesome to be buying stuff from Canada. It's awesome to support a Canadian company.
Yeah, no, it's very nicely made stuff. These heim joints are nice and beefy. So
Yeah,
very
inch and a
strong,
quarter.
inch and a quarter. Got lefts and rights, so then, or left and right threads, so then we can make it easy adjustments.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely be buying more stuff.
Yeah, they've got all sorts of cool stuff on their website, so definitely go check it out.
Yeah, TMR Customs.
All right, well, I guess the next step is to get the front and rear axles in the shop. We've got to strip them all down. There's a lot of things to cut off the front axle. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's get stuck in. do you got going on here?
Nothing.
What are you doing? Lauren's got a lot of skill with the plasma cutter.
Get out of here.
Oh, here's one.
That's not good, but compared to what I've got going on over here. Okay, we've cut away pretty much all of the brackets now. There's a lot of cleanup left to do. We've got the truss just loosely sitting in place here, trying to figure out roughly what else needs to come away. So these two plates here have to go right where this slot here is and that slot there is. And they actually fit on the tube itself, but not on the cast. We have to actually cut away the cast pretty much about 2 inches all the way off, which is quite a lot. And we'll cut that away, and then we'll probably have to weld all the way around the cast steel to the actual tube again, just to add strength back in, and yeah, put these back in. So that way it gives us the room to both get these welded onto the actual tube, and it also gives us a landing point for our lower control arm to get welded onto the tube as well. And then we'll have our upper control arm mount will likely be here somewhere, or it might even go sort of on a bit of an angle up here. It just sort of depends on the width that we have to work with. But yeah, it's coming along. Yeah, it's starting to break off right there.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so you can see here what he's got going on. He's taking that piece out. It's about 2 inches from here to there. So we'll have to do that all the way around, and then we'll weld in here. And the new brackets will go here somewhere. So he's got to do that all the way around.